Hey, good morning, everybody. Boker Tov. Hope you are doing well and enjoying your Tuesday morning wherever you are. We are in the second day of Beis Av, and seems like a very challenging time for the Jewish people now. It is a very challenging time. So we'll wait a few minutes till everybody gets on, and meanwhile, we'll give tzedakah. Good morning, Lynn. Everyone give tzedakah today. Supposed to give a lot of tzedakah in the month of Av, so Yidel tzedakah shmekreves es haku'ula. Put that in. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. All right. And now we're going to start with Tehillim. Everybody, please put down any names that you would like for us to say. Okay. I'll wait 2 more minutes. Okay. Hi. Good morning. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Dorit. Welcome. Okay, we're going to get our Tehillims. Please put down names that you would like for us to daven for. We have Menachem Mendel ben Nechamedina. Please help me by putting down names in the boxes so we can have their names in mind as we say Tehillim, but also dedicating this class in the merit of anyone who needs a Refuah Shalema, for our hostages who are there for over 300 days, for the little Bibas boy who celebrated his birthday yesterday. I want to wish him Hashnas Hatzlacha, and Hashem should bench him that he should be out so quickly and we'll be able to celebrate his 5th birthday in a proper celebration, maybe at the Kotel. Yes, good morning. Okay, can you hear me, Lauren? Can you hear me, Shirley? How is it? Is it clear? Let me know if it's clear. Okay, just give me a thumbs up if it's a good connection. I'm not sure which rooms in my house. Oh, it's good. Okay, good. Thank you, Lauren. Okay, so we'll start off with chapter Chaf. Open your Tehillim. Let's go. Lamanatseach mizmar leDavid yancha dinar biyom tzara. Yisagefcha Hashem Elohei Yaakov. Yishlach ezracha mikodesh u'metzion yisadeka. Yiskar kol melchasecha v'lascha yidash nesela. Yiten lecha chavavecha b'chol atzascha yimale rana b'shusecha u'v'shem Eloheinu nitgo. Yimalei Adonai kol mishalasecha. Ata yadati ki yoshei Adonai mishicho yanei mishbekotra b'gvuras yesha yamino. Ela v'recha ve'ela v'asusa v'anachnu v'shem Adonai Eloheinu naskir. Hey makar v'falo v'anachnu kamnu v'nisadad. Adonai Hoshia HaMelech yanenu v'yom karenu. Yes, Miriam Bas Gilda. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Corinne. Good morning, Lauren. I'm going to read this in English because it is such an appropriate Tehillim for us in our time right now. For the conductor, a psalm by David, may the Lord answer you on the day of distress. May you be fortified by the name of God of Jacob. May he send your help from the sanctuary and support you from Zion. May he remember all your offerings and always accept favorably your sacrifice. May he grant you your heart's desire and fulfill your every counsel. We will rejoice in your deliverance, and the name of our God raise our banners. May Hashem fulfill all your wishes. Now I know that Hashem has delivered his anointed one, answering him from his holy heavens with the mighty saving power of his right hand. Some rely on chariots, rockets, missiles, and some upon their horses, their tanks. But we rely upon and invoke the name of Hashem, our God. They bend and fall, but we rise and stand firm. Hashem, deliver us, and may the King answer us on the day we call. Wow. This Tehillim that King David wrote thousands of years ago is still so relevant. It's like David HaMelech wrote it today. And this is our message to all of you today. We are going to win this. And what Khomeini, the Ayatollah, does not know is this. You remember who was one of the biggest arch enemies of the Jews that chose a specific date by lottery to get rid of all of us. He chose a date that he knew had a bad omen for the Jewish people. Does anybody know who was that enemy? And when in our history did that occur? Okay? We have, history repeats itself, right? We had an enemy already thousands of years ago that tried to destroy the Jews, and he chose a date, and he goes, aha, I am going to choose this date, because on this date, think about the same people, all the same letters almost, right? The Khomeini of the days in Parasumadai, right, in Persia. In the days of Mordechai and Esther, he chose the day of the 7th of Adar to decree that every Jew, man, woman, and child will be wiped off the mat. And he said, what a perfect day, because their faithful leader, Moses, he died on that day. So that's a bad day for the Jews. It's written. And so it is written. Well, exactly, Clara. Well, the Klugschaft, in other words, the idiot that he forgot to look a little bit deeper. That was also the day of the birth of Moshe. And that day lent itself to a day of celebration. And the story is told that he meant to give us a day of sorrow and pain. And today we know, if you ask any child, when is the happiest day for the Jewish world? It's Purim. Who gave us that holiday? Hamas. Hamas is doing the same thing. They're giving us another holiday in the month of Av. We are today women. Which month are we in today? Mishenichnas. Put it down. Mishenichnas Av. When the month of Av comes, we're told, Ma'at min simcha. The Rebbe turns that around, and the Rebbe says, not at all. When the day of the month of Av comes, we're told to decrease, but we're actually going to be increasing with simcha. Why? Because what Hamas and the Khomeinis and all those haters don't know is that Tisha B'Av, although it is, until this year, has been the saddest day for the Jews. We've had a tremendous amount of calamities and tragedies, specifically the Holocaust, we know, began on the 9th of Av. It started with the World War I into World War II. The two temples, the two Beit HaMikdash, were destroyed on the 9th of Av. So our haters in the past have known that this is a bad luck day for Jews. But what they don't know, and they don't dig deep enough into our teachings, which is what we as Jews should do, is that Hashem said, Nehapachu, I am going to change this sad day. I'm going to make it the day of Mashiach. In fact, the birth of Mashiach is supposed to be on Tisha B'Av. And the blessings for the coming of Mashiach are specifically alluded to for Tisha B'Av. So to all the haters of the Hamans and the Hamases and the Khomeinis and all those that are still left, because thank God our IDF, with the help of Hashem, have decimated a lot of them. The rest are coming soon. We're the end of Goldie, my friends. We are the luckiest generation that we are going to be welcoming Mashiach. The question is, are we ready? Are you ready? Mashiach is coming. Are you ready? Is your house ready for Mashiach? Does your house look like a home that Mashiach would be thrilled to come in for a coffee? What kind of pictures are hanging on your walls? Have your mezuzahs been checked? What kind of books are lying around? What kind of magazines are lying around? What's going on in your closets? Is it good kosher food? My friends, We are the luckiest generation because it's our mitzvot, our last mitzvot, that are actually tipping the scale and bringing the Mashiach. Now, many of you might be skeptical and say, Goldie, let's be realistic. Our generation doesn't come close to the generations of our previous ancestors. They really stressed Judaism. They lived it. They were so much more. Everyone tells me my Zayda was a Rebbe, my great-grandfather was a Rebbe, everybody's grandfather was a Rebbe, a tzaddik, a chassid. So why do we deserve Mashiach? And you're right. We are midgets compared to the previous generations. I look at my grandparents, I look at their parents. Of course, I'm not delusional to think that I am on a greater level, but everything is counted as one journey. The Jewish people are a collective people. The mitzvahs that my great-grandfather did are coming now. Dorit, can you see me? Helga says, no picture, no sound. Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you can see me before we go on. Anybody? Can you see me? Helga says, no picture, no sound. I hope that's not true. Oh, okay, Dana. Good morning, Dana. I see you too. Okay, I see you. So, Clara says good. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so the basic rule of thumb is this. Our mitzvot are collective and have been accumulated for the past generations. Ours is generation, the Rebbe kept saying, Higiz man galaschem. And the words of our Tanakh, the words of our Torah are clearing. There's going to be a generation of monsters, of haters that are going to cause terror, and they're going to cause fear, and they're going to break up your community, and they're going to terrorize your children. It's happening. From all corners, Israel's being bombarded. On one hand, people I speak to are frightened. But I need to tell you something very, very special, my friends. And listen to this. Do you remember what I told you? What is the Hebrew month that we are in right now? Okay, put it down in the comments. What is the Hebrew month that we are in right now? I know we are in the month of August, right? Yesterday was a civic holiday. But what is the Jewish month right now? Thank you, Dorit. The Jewish month is Av, means father. Absolutely. It also has two letters, Aleph and Vav. Helga, I recommend that Helga go out and restart her phone or computer and come back. Av has two letters, Aleph and a Bet. Aleph stands for Emunah. What does Emunah mean? Put it in the comments. Bet stands for, put it in the comments, Bitachon. So we have Av, the month of Av that it's in right now. Hashem is giving us a very strong and focused message. My children, you are entering now a month that is full of fright, wrought with danger, fear, tragedy, calamity, confusing. It's very scary. You wake up in the morning and you see what's going on, whether it's outside synagogues in Toronto, all over Britain. But Hashem is saying to my children, please don't give up. Take your Aleph for Amunah, which is faith. Take your Bet for Bitachon, which is belief, and work on it. And just put your trust in God. Our IDF put their trust in God. Even Netanyahu, with the speech in Congress 2 weeks ago, kept referring to God. He didn't say Israel belongs to us because of 1948 or 1967 or the Balfour Declaration. He alluded to Israel being ours because it's been ours since Hashem gave it to us. So if Netanyahu, who is a man of power, and many people in power forget the connection to God, but we, my friends, like the Ritz saying, Gimel is Geula. Aleph Beis Gimel. Aleph Beis Gimel. Emunah B'Tochen Geula. That's what we have to tell our children. So if anyone is scared, just remind them, we're in the month of Av. Aleph Beis Gimel. Emunah B'Tochen Geula. There's nothing to fear. But we have to do our part. And so I'm going to go back today to our class. Our class this week is, I want to thank YY Jacobson for a lot of his insight. In this Shabbos, for those of you who were in Shul, you give me a thumbs up if you were in Shul and Shabbos and you heard the Parsha. A lot of interesting things that went on in the Parsha. First, we said, Chazak, Chazak for this Chazek. We said, be strong, be stronger, right? We finished the fourth book of Moses and started the fifth book. What's the fifth book called? Put it in the comments. And we finished a beautiful parsha, two parshas called Matos and Maseh. It's funny, in our family, we call it Mati and Basi, Matos and Maseh. We like these two parshas. And in this week's parsha is mentioned of one date, the passing of one individual, and no other individual actually is mentioned in the Torah when he passed away. The actual word says when he passed away. That's right, Dorit and Dana, Devarim. And this week we finished Matos and Maseh. So there, in this week's Parsha, does anybody know whose date is written in the Chumash? It's not Moshe. Close. You're close to it. It's not Moshe. It is another great person in this Parsha. In this week's Parsha, in Maseh, I will read to you the pasuk in Hebrew. It says, Vayal Aaron HaKohen el har hahar, api Hashem, Vayamas sham ishnas haba'im letzeis b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Yitzrayim, v'chodesh ha'chamishi be'echad lachodesh. Who did I just mention? Who went up to the Har HaHar because Hashem told him that he was going to now lie down? Hashem took his soul. That was Aaron HaKohen. Only person. It actually mentions his name right here. Chodesh HaChamishi Be'echad HaChodesh. The first day of the fifth month. When is that? Aleph of. Now it's very funny because if you want to tell us when he passed away, you should tell us when the Jews were right then and there at that place. Tell us that. And they were journeying along, and then Aaron went up and he died. But it doesn't. It tells us now when they're reviewing all the 42 stops along the way. It's totally out of order. Why would they tell us Aaron died today on Aleph Av right in this parsha when it's totally out of context? If you think you know the answer, put it in the comments. But I will tell you something very, very fascinating. This parsha is always read right before the 9 days. Right before Av. Who was Aaron, my friends? Who was Aaron a Cohen? We know he was a Cohen. We know he was a brother of Moshe and Miriam. We know that he was the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. He lit the menorah. He took care of the temple. He wore the breastplate and showed the children where they should, the Jewish children, where they should go, where they should travel, when they should settle, right? Because of his breastplate. Aaron was a busy man. He was in and out of the Kodesh Kodashim. He took care of all the ins and outs of the Mishkan, the mini tabernacle. Why do we read about his passing here? Let's talk about who Aaron was. Aaron was Oev et Habriot u'mikavan laTorah. Aaron loved humanity and brought them closer to the Torah. And in Pirkei Avos, we're told, you should be like the students of Aaron. Be like Aaron. Be like Aaron. Who was Aaron? Oh, Aaron. Oh, hey, he was a peacemaker. Exactly. He loved people. And we are told something fascinating about Aaron. We are told that he besides for all his incredible job descriptions that we just reviewed a few minutes ago. Hello, Esther. How are you? Before we talk about the fact that he was the Kohen Gadol and he took care of the menorah, and he took care of the Kodesh Kodeshim, and he took care of the Karbanot, he also was a peacemaker, which meant that he brought peace between man and woman. He was the first Jewish marriage therapist, marriage coach. He, in his own time, brought peace amongst couples. And he saved, the Torah tells us in the commentaries, 80,000 children were products of relationships that were on the verge of divorce, but Aaron worked on their marriages, brought them together, showed them how their differences were not that great and that there was so much more that was similar than different, brought marriages back together, and as a result, 80,000 children were named Aaron. Aaron! Because their parents thanked Aaron HaKohen for bringing their marriages back together. It reminds me, a couple of years ago, our community did a fashion show, a women's fashion show. I think it was before Pesach, Passover, and we were showing all the beautiful, modest clothing that the Bay, one of the biggest department stores in the city. It was downtown, gorgeous venue. We must have had over 400 women came to that event. And our speaker was Judy Feldkar. Anybody ever heard of Judy? Judy today might be in her 90s already. I'm going to reach out to her to say hello today. And Judy, a Canadian woman, she saved hundreds and hundreds of families from Syria in the early 60s. And Judy Feldkar risked her life. She had death threats put on her and her family, but she saved hundreds of families. And today there are a bunch of little girls, Judy, that live, a lot of them from Syrian Jewish families, a lot of them live in New York, Israel. They're called Judy in her honor. And Aaron HaKohen had the same thing times 1,000. 80,000 children with the name Aaron. Why? Because Aaron HaKohen saved their parents' marriage. What is the message for us? That this story, this significant part of the Pasuk in Matos, chapter 33, verse 35, and it tells us that Aaron, the priest, ascended Mount Hor at the behest of God, died there in the 40th year after the Israelites had left the land of Egypt, on the first day of the 5th month, Aleph Av. Yes, it was his yard site. So the Torah is telling us something very, very powerful. That this is the 9 days. We are living through a very, very precarious time right now. Why is it so precarious? Because we are living now in the time when we have every single enemy, the Houthis, the Hamasniks, the Hezbollahs, all the most wicked people walking on the face of this earth have their guns and their rockets pointing to the Jews. Now it's the 9 days, and everyone's talking about the tragedies and the sadness and the worry. And there's a lot of videos about there that's going to make us cry. But the Rebbe said, no, my friends, don't focus on the sadness. Look at what we have to do during the 9 days to bring it back to the joy, the time when the Jewish people will shine again, when the Jewish people will be able to be the lights onto the nation, when everyone will be aware. We have a very large silent majority out there that is aligned with the Jewish people. They dislike and they hate all those fanatical Muslims out there. They do. Some of them are scared to say it, but they know the Jewish people are the most moral people in the world. They know it. And the jealousy in those enemies of ours is huge. And they hate the fact that we are a people that with all our worries, we still have Shabbats together, and we still celebrate our Chagim, and we're still connected to the hostages, and we cry and pray for them every single day. Every day, Jewish women and men are opening their sidurs and davening for our hostages, people that you and I never met. Because we know that the way to end this devastation and the way to end the 9 days and the way to end the horror is not by crying, but by davening and by doing more Ohov Israel and by more Avat Israel and by giving more charity and by connecting more and by making up with our friends and our families that we don't talk to anymore. Aaron is teaching us a message now. We have 8 days. Reach out to someone that you don't like and just say hello. I did it. It's not easy. We all have someone that rubs us the wrong way. It might not even be their fault. It might be our problem. But we don't talk to that one. It could be family, it could be neighbor, it could be an acquaintance. Pick up the darn phone. Get it out of you. Just do it. It's uncomfortable. It's going to make me look smaller. No. The person that says, I'm sorry, or the person that says hello first is the bigger one. Call them up and I just say, I was thinking about you. How are you? Doesn't have to be a thing. You don't have to fight them to move into your house for Shabbat. But go out of our way to do what Aaron did. Ohev Shalom, Rodev Shalom. He ran after peace. He was so busy, but he was able to coach and give therapy to 80,000 couples. He was busier than us, believe me. But he found time to bring Jews together. So Hashem is giving us this message in the Torah, and he's saying, what's the message now during these 9 days? Go out there, make shalom. If you're going out with friends and someone's about to talk Lashon Hara about somebody, just nip it in the bud. Yeah, be the Rebbetzin, okay? Just be the Rebbetzin. Let them laugh at you and say, woo, what's going on with you? Mindy, suddenly you're becoming holy? Doesn't matter. Just say, you know what? For the safety of our hostages, for the safety of Israel, I'm trying not to speak Lashon Hara. Whoa. You're going to make a dent in your friends. And suddenly your coffee dates and your walks and your spas will become elevated because we're now doing things for the Jewish community. It's a fascinating clip. I don't know if you saw this. One of the hostages who was released was interviewed, and she says that one night, one of the terrorists called her to watch TV. They used to torture them. They torture our hostages. And she was sitting in front of the TV, and she saw all the Jewish people, Haredi, Chiloni, right wing, left wing. You know those labels that should be ostracized? All the different kinds of Jews were standing together and singing, and they were lighting candles. And the terrorist says, so first of all, the girl says, I never saw this in my life. I always saw that the secular were against the religious, and I always saw them butting heads. So when I saw that, I cried. But what the terrorist said shocked her more. The terrorist said like this, we Arabs know that when you Jews don't get along, we have the upper hand. We knew that 303 days ago, October 7th, was the perfect time to strike because Israel had never been in such a place of disunity. We knew when you guys don't get along, your God doesn't send his blessings. So we have control. We are in charge. The mazel of Esav is in charge when the Jewish people are in disunity. How does a Shmendrik from Gaza, a despicable terrorist from Gaza, how does he know that? How does he know that? How do we not know that? What is wrong with us, the Jews? Am Yisrael, we're the smartest people. Hashem gave us chachma. Bina and Das. How do we not know that when we don't get along, they have the upper hand? We have our enemies now from all four sides pointing their rockets at us. But we have the best ammunition. It's called Avat Israel. My friends, I beg every one of you. By the way, these classes are now reaching over 1,500 viewers every week, which means there are 1,500 people that are watching this. If 1,500 to 2,000 people can give this message to 3 or 4 or 5 people who continue this message, that we can beat these terrorists, not by fighting. IDF will do that because we're living in a practical world where the IDF has to fight. God comes through natural means, that's for sure. But we need to help them. How are you and I helping the IDF, those gorgeous soldiers, of which my nephew is one of them? And everyone here has someone they know. We know children, these 19, 20-year-olds, fathers who are on the front line for me and you. What are we doing in Chutz La'aretz? We're saying, oi. We're saying, oh, shame. We're scrolling social media all day and just looking at the terror. What are we doing? We have to stop sitting and doing zilch. We must be proactive. We are soldiers today, right here in Toronto. And each one of us has a different mission. I would go out on the limb and saying, the women that are watching this, your mission is not to fight. Your mission is not to scream. Your mission is to light Shabbos candles on time. Your mission is go to the mikvah if you have not yet gone since your last period. And I'm begging all of you, reach out to me. I will personally teach you the laws of mikvah and set you up in a beautiful mikvah wherever in the world you live. Do it for the soldiers. If it's a little bit hard for you, how hard is it for them sitting in Kanyunis, sitting there unknown if they're going to survive? Go a little bit out of our comfort zone to do another mitzvah that's not my type? Really? Is that who we are? We talk that we care so much about Israel, but we're not really ready to make ourselves uncomfortable? I can't get over this. Every single woman watching this must go to mikvah. End of story. And there are people and Rebbetzins that will be ready. Every one of us has to give tzedakah every day. What do you mean we don't have tzedakah? What's a dime? Every single day except for Shabbat. Making blessings on your lunch. Make a decision that you are going to make brachot even once a day on one of your meals. Your family is making a bracha. Of course, make sure it's kosher, but you make a bracha. We have 8 more days until Tisha B'Av. We have to pack it in with mitzvot. And I'm not a person who gives musar. The Rebbe never yelled at anyone. I'm a chassid of the Rebbe, but the Rebbe sometimes got very upset. And he said, why are we sleeping? We're almost at the end of Galus. Mashiach comes. How are we going to come to Mashiach? What are we bringing in our basket of mitzvot? Fill it up. Spread the word that we are about to see Geula. So go to the mikvah, light your candles, make a bracha, give tzedakah, transform our homes to be homes of Kiddusha. And for those people who do mikvah and do tzedakah, boy, there's another 610 mitzvahs we can do. Watching our words, focusing on our tefillot. Today I was davening chakras. Daven every morning. Sometimes my mind gets carried away by the things I have to do, or something I have to say, or someone I have to call. And I'm up to Shema, and I'm thinking, how much of my davening did I focus? Was it 20%, 30%? How embarrassing. I'm sitting and I'm shaking. I'm shaking and I'm saying, and my mind is somewhere else. I can improve on my davening. I can improve on my words. I can improve on my thoughts, right? Machshava diba ma'aseh, that's all the Torah talks about. The Tanya, machshava diba ma'aseh, we have to focus on our thoughts, on our words, on our actions. Try to live up to that Beinani. In Metzisha, my friends, next Tuesday is Tisha B'Av. We have 1 week to really gear up our mitzvot, to change our lives. We are going to do this. We're going to do this, my friends. I'm looking forward to the days that Tisha B'Av will be transformed to a Yom Tov, and maybe very, very soon welcome the coming of Mashiach. We say Hashem provides the remedy before the disease. And before any challenge in life, Hashem gives us the energy to deal with it. That is why the 9 days are, yes, there are days of grief over our discord, over our hatred. But the Torah tells us that because of the yahrzeit of Aaron, our great, great peacemaker, Hashem is giving us the remedy. He says, just work on the peace, work on your togetherness as a people, and I will send you Geula. Have an amazing week, my friends.